Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another TNT Rock Block right here on the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham, assistant producer and camera design tonight by Mr. Connor Baldwin. Thank you very much, sir, for your contributions here. And 3 big races coming up here tonight, 1 oval and 2 on matching road courses. The Free V Series kicking things off here at Langley Speedway, Hampton, Virginia. Just over 1/3 of a mile in length. Before we get too deep into the statistics and weather and everything else of what's coming, let's tell you about the results from 1 week ago. That saw J.W. Miller take the win by 21 seconds on the Charlotte Legends Road Course over James Curtis and Wes Shire. Felipe Ramos and Scott Ross rounded out the 5 cars that finished that race on the lead lap. Taking a look at the point standings for the Free V Series after 4 rounds, Wes Shire with a 30-point lead, 40-point lead over Scott Ross. It's a big number, but not insurmountable for sure. Bill Walker dropping a position, sitting on 87 markers. He's only 3 back of Ross for that second position. James Curtis, Chad Irvine, your top 5. Pretty big gap there, back to 6th place. J.W. Miller, followed by Mike McCullen, Patrick Byrne, and Rick Cleary, both sitting on 48 points, and Jeffrey Davis at 41. Taking a look here at the weather conditions tonight, presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 79-degree track temperature, 69% humidity. Nice. Wind's going to be out of the south at 6 miles an hour under cloudy skies, 81-degree track temperature. A little bit warm for a nighttime race, but we should see that drop over the course of the evening here. Timed races on the docket for tonight. At least 2 of the races are going to be timed anyway. This one, the Free Vs, as well as the Shock Series, coming up in just a little bit. Let's take a look and show you the best lap times here in practice to this point. Scott Ross at a 17.723 second lap, as it looks like Jeffrey Davis may have brought a cone back with him to pit lane. Mike McConville, J.W. Miller, Wes Shire, James Curtis, your top 5. How about 17 cars making up the entry list for tonight's race as we follow along here with J.W. Miller? I want to thank everybody who's checking in on YouTube and Twitch here this evening. As a reminder, you can support the National Racing Network through a variety of means, whether that's a super chat or a subscription on the YouTube side of things, sending bits or bots or tits or whatever they are on Twitch. Also have the subs available on that side as well. Seeing our buddy Chris Casbeer checking in. Want to know how we're doing? We are doing just fine over here as practice has come to a conclusion. And we've got a new quick timer at the top of the board, and it is James Curtis. Single car qualifying, getting ready to take to the racetrack here. Pick up the number 11 of Chad Irvine. I believe it is Ramstein Brewing on the side of that number 11. You can see him up around the outside of the racetrack trying to get the tires warmed up in this thing. That is going to be one of the challenges this evening. Once you get those tires warmed up, not burning them off in the corners. Off of turn number 4, lap number 1 will go on the board for Chad Irvine. Scott Ross going to jump to the top of the speed charts. Now James Curtis going to move to the top. Waiting on the graphics to reset here. 17.7 seconds. The quick time for James Curtis. See what Curtis is going to be able to do here on lap number 2. 17.699 the time on lap number 1. See if lap 2 is going to score. It does, but it is just a tick slower. Wes Shire going to be second quick. Scott Ross, Nagisa Ashikawa. How about Rick Cleary jumping up to 5th? He gets way off the racetrack. Bins it in turn number 2. That will be the end of his qualification run. Following along now with J.W. Miller. Actually, let's pick up Christian Jasper as he works lap number 2. I believe it is the Nagoya Tofu Company, if you can read the Japanese on the side of Christian Jasper's number 67. Lap number 2 in the books. Jasper going to stay 10th quick. J.W. Miller coming around to complete lap number 1 as we are approaching 2 minutes down in the qualification session. Miller's first lap going to be good for 5th quick. 17.961 seconds. Everybody still a ways back here at James Curtis. Call it about half a tenth here back to Wes Shire. More than a tenth. Back to 3rd place, Scott Ross. Lap number 2 for Miller. Does not improve. 18.02 the lap time for J.W. Miller. We'll get a hold of Mike McConville now as he is working his first qualification lap, just coming across the start-finish line now. Oh, buddy, hold on to it. Slides it to a stop. I think it's going to be a loss of control. We'll see what iRacing says, but one way or the other, if it's not a loss of control, it's just going to be flat slow on lap number 1 there for Mike McConville. See what he can do here on lap number 2. That first lap did not score for Mike McConville, so he's going to have to lay down a big one here on lap 2. He does go green in sector 1. No surprise there. How about 3rd quick? 17.879 for Mike McConville. Good lap there for McConville. Take a look, see who else we have left to qualify. And right now, we'll pick up Jeffrey Davis as he makes his way. Well, no, he's not even on the racetrack anymore either here. Waiting on Peter Donchak, who only turned 1 lap or so in practice and has only turned 1 here in qualifying. See if we can't sneak a quick word in here with Chad Irvine. You're checking into the comments saying your driver is taking a break. What are you thinking here as a car owner? I would imagine probably a little bit worried about engine temperatures and maybe grenading a couple dozen motors. Oh, there you are. You're at the Porta-John.
Taking a little poop break here.
You're handling some business, as we can very clearly see on the screen. You parked yourself next to the Aves Porta Shitter. 877-367-0007, by the way, for all of your portable shitter needs if you're down in the Virginia area. All right. What are you thinking here, Chad? This race, the inside lane is pretty good. The outside lane's, and you can go wide open around the outside, but you'll probably blow the motor that way too.
Yeah, you got to really protect your engine. We've seen temperatures kind of get up, and it's going to be a very pack-heavy race based on what I've seen in practice and qualifying. Times are pretty even. The other thing is, I mean, I butchered both of my laps. I got to work my way through the field, so it's going to be a fun one for sure. But man, I can't wait to get out there and just go fast and turn left.
Yeah, sounds like this one has the potential to be a little bit of a dumpster fire. So good luck tonight here, Chad. We'll hopefully be talking to you again in just a little bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
There you go. Chad Irvine now out of the portable toilet and into his race car as he's going to be coming in from the back of the field. Let's get you the starting lineup for tonight's TNT Free V Series race. Starting on the front row will be James Curtis and Wes Shire. Mike McConville and Scott Ross going to occupy row number 2. Nagisa Yashikawa and J.W. Miller on row 3. Rick Cleary and Stephen Thompson on row number 4. Mike McCullen and Bill Walker will occupy the 5th row, while Victor Aldrich and Christian Jasper will get this race fired off from the 6th row. Row number 7, Chad Irvine and Felipe Ramos. Ramos having some connection issues during the course of practice. Going to absolutely have to keep an eye on him throughout this race. Gary DeMoss and Jeffrey Davis on row number 8. All alone on row 9 is Peter Donchak, but he does not answer the bell here. So Donchak will be a did not start at the back of the field. Looks like Rick Cleary may have missed the start because he is being scored all the way at the back of the field. I'm sorry, that's an EOL penalty for Rick Cleary after last week's race. Field going to make their way through turns 3 and 4. We'll see the iRacing safety car dive off. And as always, race fans, the start of the Free V Series is going to be all yours. One lap very quickly in the books here, and we are under green flag racing. This one is a 25-minute race. No lap count involved in this one. After 25 minutes, it's going to be over. James Curtis grabbing the race lead over Wes Shire, Mike McConville, Nagisa Yashikawa, and J.W. Miller. Trouble on the racetrack for Peter Donchak. He started this race from the pit lane. We'll see what the issue was here for Donchak. Get you a Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Hot dog with mustard coming in a little spicy into turn number 1. He's going to loop it around, back it into the fence. Clears himself out quickly, but iRacing's automated caution system does bring out the first caution flag of the race. Little spicy brown there early on for Peter Donchak. Far too much toilet humor going on at this point. Lights are going to stay on the iRacing safety car. So let's see if we can sneak a quick word in here with Wes Shire, your point leader, entering tonight's race. And Wes, we've already got the first yellow of the night out of the way here, but what are you thinking from a car performance perspective? What's the biggest concern here? The pack racing, engine reliability? What are you thinking there?
Understeer, lots and lots and lots of understeer.
So you're going to be baking off the right front tire is what you're telling us.
Oh yeah, gotta end up late race using the lift-off oversteer to try and counteract that, but I don't know about that. It's gonna be tough.
All right, bud. See, the lights are off on the iRacing safety cars, so we'll let you back down here into the driver's discussion room. Field will make their way off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. First caution flag of the race will come to an end here. That was a very long caution flag, though. James Curtis staying right there on the pace car. He's in the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are underway here in Langley. Nagisa Yashikawa, J.W. Miller going to battle. Miller having a peek down to the inside. Yashikawa hung up there on the outside of the racetrack. He may lose another position to Scott Ross, who's going to have a look down to the inside. Oh, Yashikawa hard up into the outside wall. Off at turn number 2. Here comes Mike McCullen down to the inside. Also Victor Aldrich and Chad Irvine. McCullen is able to clear. Aldrich does not get that accomplished just yet. Nagisa Yashikawa absolutely dropping like a rock early on in this one. Slide up here towards the front of the field. Battle for the race lead is getting good. James Curtis and Wes Shire are going to fight for this one off of turn number 4. Shire ran the fastest lap of the race last time by at a 17:73. Almost a tenth faster again for Wes Shire. Oh, but Shire bangs it off the outside wall. We were seeing a ton of that in practice. Drivers absolutely using up the right-hand side of these race cars. Now Mike McConville getting a little bit close to that Homestead coffee machine as Nagisa Yashikawa goes fastest lap of the race. So whatever the issues that Yashikawa was having appear to be settled now that he's back on the inside of the racetrack. Victor Aldrich and Mike McCullen battling into turn number 1. Aldrich going to be able to clear that one down onto the apron through turns 1 and 2. There was some discussion in the pre-race of the legality of using the apron. We'll see if there's any post-race penalties that get doled out here. Slide up a little bit further forward here. Pick up J.W. Miller and Scott Ross. They both tail Mike McConville in the battle for the 3rd position. Ross trying to look down to the inside. The other 2 halves of the doubleheader here, the triple header here tonight, are going to be run at the Alton Park circuit for the TNT Bolt and the Shock Series, the USF 2000s and PM18s. Heading off to what amounts to a super speedway type road course. Oh, Victor Aldrich going to spin down the front straightaway. Gets off the Jersey barriers down to the inside. Car catches a little bit of air. We go under the yellow flag once again here. Take a look. Oh, Yashikawa. Little bit of chrome horn action down the front straightaway. That's going to get Aldrich looped around. Dump City headed to turn number 1. That one will probably result in a penalty of some sort after the race here tonight. No live admins. All the penalties are handled post-race. At the front of the field, it's been all James Curtis all night. Wes Shire tried to give him a little bit of a scare. We heard from Wes Shire, though, how difficult passing is going to be here. I'm not entirely sure who it is. Somebody is revving their engine incredibly high here under caution. It's going to be a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off for him. Hard charger of the race thus far belongs to, I think it's Ramstein beer, number 11 at Chad Irvine. We'll endeavor to get information from the drivers on their sponsors here for next week. Irvine up 5 spots from the drop of the green flag here this evening. No change inside the top 3. James Curtis, Wes Shire, Mike McConville. J.W. Miller's up a couple in the Castrol GTX number 6. Mike McCullen also up a couple of spots as well. Cars running a lap down include Felipe Ramos and Peter Donchak. Ramos is going to be 3 laps in arrears, 4 for Peter Donchak. Lights are out. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Curtis going to lead the field to green. He had him skunked last time. See what he does this time. Gets a good restart. Wes Shire, Mike McConville both going to be right there as they make their way to turn 1. Approaching the halfway point here of race number 1 in the TNT Rock Block here tonight. Coming up at the next caution flag, we'll give you a little bit of a sneak preview here of what's coming up this weekend on the National Racing Network. Formal announcement coming tomorrow morning. J.W. Miller getting caught up in on Mike McConville. Going to lose a little bit of ground here. Let's slide back in the field. Get a look at the 34 of Gary DeMoss. That is the overripe banana. Running about a quarter of a second behind Christian Jasper. Chad Irvine having a look to the outside of Stephen Thompson off of turn 4. Not quite close enough to attempt the pass there. Now Irvine going to try to get down right by that white and yellow line, marking the boundary inside of turn number 1. Mike McConville may have caught the wall. Here comes J.W. Miller down to the inside. Scott Ross wants a piece of the action as well. Ross almost lost it middle of turn number 2. How about Nagisa Yashikawa right back on the charge? He's going to be right back in the race. Miller now up to 3rd, points leader, getting work done tonight. Scott Ross having the big look down to the inside. Yashikawa trying to split the difference up the middle. 3 wide may not be a bright idea here at Langley. Fantastic fight here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Quarter of a second is the battle at the front of the field, but we'll stay here with this Hornets nest of race cars as Yashikawa now having a peek inside of Ross. Tell you what, Mike McCullen got a great run off of turn number 2. Almost got to the back rear wheels of J.W. Miller. Oh, big shot into the outside wall for Yashikawa. He may have junked up the right front of that race car. That was a very hard hit. He's going to stay on the throttle, though. Full send or no send for the pilot of the 98. we've got, I believe that's Jeffrey Davis bouncing off the outside wall ahead of these cars. Davis is a lap down, doing a nice job staying out of the way of the race leaders. Already past the halfway point here at Langley Speedway. Coming up next is the TNT Bolt Series for the USF 2000 machinery. Yoshikawa able to clear Mike McCullen down to the inside. Not sure if Yoshikawa is driving a Formula V or a tank here tonight, because he is absolutely beating the hell out of that race car. Pick up the battle for the race lead as it's down inside of a couple of tenths. Still James Curtis, but Wes Shire is right there. Shire has to back off at turn number 2. Little bit of push off the corner. It's not an aero push for sure. Just carrying a little bit too much speed. Behind this battle, we get 2 seconds back to find Scott Ross, who runs in third, followed closely by Mike McConville, J.W. Miller, Nagisa Yoshikawa, and Mike McCullen, starting to tail off just a little bit. Christian Jasper, Stephen Thompson going to be side by side. Thompson gets that pass completed easily at the entry to turn 3. Chad Irvine, Rick Cleary, Victor Aldrich battling here. This is 8th, 9th, and 10th on your scoring pylon. Irvine may be holding just about everybody up behind him here. Back to 14th place, Bill Walker. Victor Aldrich having a bit of a connection issue here. That's not ideal. Rick Cleary able to clear Aldrich on the inside, as does Christian Jasper. Still about a third of a second at the front of the field, so we'll hold on to this battle right here. Are we alive out there in comments land? Let us know where you're watching from. Check in with us. Who's your pick to win? Talk about the weather. I don't care. Bill Walker up on the outside of Victor Aldrich, off at 2. Good run down the backstretch, though, by Aldrich. He may be able to clear Walker, who's about a car width and a half, off the outside lane. Longest green flag run of the night underway here. There's the battle for first and second. James Curtis, Wes Shire. It is a caffeine-fueled night here at the front of the field. Serge Cola on the side of the 88 of James Curtis. Homestead Coffee on the side of the 16 belonging to Wes Shire. Miller High Life in the broadcast booth, the semi-official beer of the National Racing Network. The unofficial official beer, I guess. Here comes Rick Cleary having a peek to the inside of Chad Irvine. Irvine now going to have to deal with Christian Jasper and Victor Aldrich. And not much of a fight there, as both Jasper and Aldrich are able to get around Irvine. Aldrich and Jasper battle side by side. Hold on to it, Christian, off at 2. Nice job there, but almost 3 wide into turn number 3. Just back behind Aldrich. Jasper absolutely hung out to dry. Got to get that car down to the inside of the racetrack. Wes Shire is caught right back up onto the rear end of James Curtis. Shire looks very good mid-corner. 18 minutes and 40 seconds go up on the clock. Oh, one car hard into the wall. Caution flag is out on the speedway. Incident for Jeffrey Davis. Take a look and see what happened here. The Jamaican bobsled into turn number 1. Oh, big time into the wall. Loops the car back around right as the leaders come down to the inside. And that will put us under the caution flag. The interesting question now is, does this race go back to green flag racing? And how many laps will be left if it does? See if we can get a word in here with race leader James Curtis. James, the car's been very good, very quick out front here all night, but Wes Shire is not making it easy on you there, brother.
No, he's not. He's driving really good. He's keeping pressure on me. I just got to make sure I hold that inside line and don't let him get a nose in there.
That kind of seems like it's going to be the story of the night here, is who's able to hold the bottom better. Anything issues-wise with the car that you're sort of thinking here? Water temps, oil temps, all that stuff looks good?
Everything's looking good this week. We're not really getting too high in the oil temp, so it's, just kind of go as hard as you can.
All right,
try to pull out a little gap maybe at the beginning and make it hard on them.
I was going to say, we're not going to have much time left here. What are you thinking? When does Wes make the run?
Oh, man, probably 2 minutes left, I would think. He's probably going to start coming at me pretty hard there, but it's going to be really tough. As long as I keep that car planted on the inside, I don't know if he can make a pass on the outside.
All right, James. Good luck the rest of the way here, bud. Hopefully we're talking to you in just a few minutes.
Here's hoping.
So there you go. Race leader James Curtis expecting the move to come with about 2 minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock, and we are going to do at least one more lap under the caution flag. This will give us a chance to tell you what we have coming up this weekend on the National Racing Network right here, exclusively on YouTube and Twitch. Will be the 32nd running of the Linda's Speedway National Open. The best in the country in the world of 270 and 600 micro sprint racing action will invade Jonestown, Pennsylvania for one of the biggest events on the calendar. $3,000 to win features in both divisions on Saturday night. Race of Champions in both classes on Friday night. Whole lot of racing action coming up here on the National Racing Network from Linda's Speedway. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car, and it's go time. 2 minutes, 55 seconds left on the clock. Who's going to make the big move, and when do they make it? Green flag goes back in the air. Man, Wes Shire got a great restart that time. Curtis going to try to keep the car planted down to the inside. Does Wes Shire go after the apron to make the pass? J.W. Miller, Scott Ross going to battle for the third position. We'll stay right here at the front because Wes Shire is there. When does he make the move? Shire going to sneak a peek to the outside. Side-by-side battle for the third position now as they come off the corner. Scott Ross, J.W. Miller. How about 3 wide? Mike McCullen, Nagisa Ashikawa, Victor Aldrich, all getting tangled up there. They keep them in a straight line. We stay green. Shire's going to have to make the move soon. Another caution flag could end it from here on out. Down to 1 minute, 45 seconds remaining. Aldrich with a big sweep down to the inside. Call it 4 car lengths for race leader Curtis as they come off of turn number 4. Shire better not start to sleep on this one either, because caution is out. Trouble for Nagisa Ashikawa. That may end it with 1 minute 15 seconds to go. Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. See what happened to Ashikawa here in turn number 1. Oh, got it up over Victor Aldrich. Backed it into the outside wall. Nice job holding the brakes, but it does put us under the caution flag. Trouble also for Mike McConville, who had to take a tow into the pits. "40 seconds remain, and this race will not go back to green flag racing. Mere formality at this point for James Curtis to get that car around. It'll be Curtis, Shire, and Scott Ross on the podium here this evening. Down to the last couple of seconds, ticking down on the clock. Lap number 68 will be the final one here at the Langley Speedway. James Curtis will get the win here with one more lap behind the iRacing safety car. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have Victory Lane interviews and then full race coverage of the TNT Bolt Series coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Checkered flag is out. James Curtis gets the win under caution over Wes Shire and Scott Ross. J.W. Miller, Mike McCullen round out your top 5. We'll get the race results up here for you. 6th place tonight belongs to Victor Aldrich, Rick Cleary, Bill Walker, Gary DeMoss, and Stephen Thompson, your top 10. Christian Jasper, Nagisa Ashikawa, the final 2 cars to finish on the lead lap. Chad Irvine, the first car, 1 lap down in 13th. Peter Donchak in 14th. Jeffrey Davis, 15th. Mike McConville and Felipe Ramos round out your field here this evening. Gary DeMoss going to be your hard charger of the night, gaining 6 spots to finish in the 9th position. Race winner doing a little mudding. And looks like everybody trying to get in line at the portable toilets. Well, he parks it in tech. That's beautiful. What an absolute bunch of animals here in the TNT series. Gary DeMoss going to try to get a running start here to clear the log jam, if you will. Once again, way too many feces puns going on here tonight. Let's bring in your race winner tonight, James Curtis. Tell you what, James, you absolutely nailed it there, saying that if you held the bottom of the racetrack, it was going to be good enough. The car looked great. Tell us about the night.
Yeah, well, really, most important part was getting through in a qualifying first there. The bottom line was great, so didn't have to really worry about Wes coming around the outside like some of the tracks we've seen off the start. And once I got out front, it was just going to be really hard to pass unless I made a mistake. So it's just trying to stay mistake-free, Sacrificed a little speed there at the end just to make sure I didn't do anything stupid.
Yeah, and it's going to be a pretty good points night for you here as well, looking ahead to the rest of the season. Wes was the points leader, but he's not going to extend that lead over you here. You're going to pick up a bunch of points and really tighten things up here at the top of the field.
Yeah, now I've got to stay consistent. That first race where I blew the engine's really hurting me right now, but I think as long as I keep on racking up podiums, I might be able to tighten up a little bit more on Wes.
All right, James. Congratulations on the win here tonight. Thank you very much. And let's get any sponsor plugs and thank yous in here before we let you go.
Well, hey, just thanks to everybody on the National Racing Network for coming out, watching this race. It's a fun series. And, big shout out to all the drivers that are coming out and doing this. It was a really great field tonight. A lot of really good drivers in this one. So, been a lot of fun.
All right, James. Thank you very much here. Let's bring in second place, Wes Shire. And I tell you what, Wes, about 90 seconds too little here. Ultimately, what was the story of the night here for you? James was good. You were good on the bottom of the racetrack as well, though.
Yeah, I just didn't have anything for James. He's just pretty much exactly the same speed as me, maybe just a smidge faster. So it is what it is, but it was a fun race.
Yeah, fun race. And now we're going to head off to Alton Park and run the international layout for both the Bolt Series and the Shock. What are you thinking there as we head down there, especially with those USF cars? That may be pack racing on a road course.
It could be, yeah. There's a couple different ways you can approach the setup philosophy here. High downforce and low downforce will net you pretty similar lap times, but in very different ways. So if you're going low downforce, look for a really good straight line speed, but anywhere there's a brake zone, or particularly the Shell Corner and the First Corner and Knickerbrook, you're looking at some pretty significant speed differentials between the low downforce and high downforce guys.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. These are going to be a fun couple of shows here. So before we let you go, make sure we get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of as well.
Yeah, as always, got to thank you for doing the broadcast. Got to thank Jason for putting this whole thing together. Got to thank Jeffrey for the idea of the whole Freebie series. And, of course, Homestead Coffee, keeping me awake and alert enough to drive these cars all night. And shout out to my other self Friday nights. YouTube.com/Tales from Rukon. Little live D&D, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's a good time.
Yes, it is. Very good show to listen to, especially if you want to listen to it in like podcast form after the fact. Not a bad little show to pick up there. Let's pick up our third place finisher here tonight, Scott Ross. Scott, ultimately you had a pretty decent car. You gained one spot from where you started the race. Tell us about it from the driver's seat.
Just a really hard race. Just have to figure out momentum, how to slingshot next, by the next guys. If I didn't get that one caution, I think I could have got Wes and the leader.
Yeah, that was one of those deals that you sort of had to be inside. You maybe had to try to run the apron and deal with the ramifications that could come from that. Ultimately, it's a fast car, or good racetrack, I should say, for these cars. It just absolutely difficult to really run these things tight, though.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I would say just talking about the car and track combination. I don't want to say it's too big, but it's right on that borderline of too big, and it's just a lot of momentum that you got to carry.
Yeah, this track has the length. The problem is, or one of the neat things is it's so low banked. It really changes things compared to Southern National or South Boston.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on the podium. It's another good points night for you, so we're seeing your name up there towards the top of the charts. Congratulations on that one, and let's get any sponsor plugs and thank yous in here while we're at it.
Good. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go with Crayola again. That's the only sponsor on the car out of Easton, Pennsylvania.
All right, bud. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And with that, time to get out of here as we get ready to go for another big night of racing here coming up. The TNT Bolt Series is coming up next For everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you with us. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back in just a few minutes with the TNT Bolt Series.